Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to a Cup special here at Top Tier Talk. Elliot, we're going to start with you and probably the worst week of your life as an Arsenal fan, facing exit in the Carabao Cup after a 2 defeat to Newcastle, and you are actually out of the FA Cup at the hands of Man United. Take it away.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you very much for the introduction there, Daniel. Not necessarily the worst week as an Arsenal fan. I think there's probably a little more that I could name. Anyway, I think we all watched the Newcastle and Arsenal game together in the pub, and we were pretty much seeing what is on show for Arsenal Football Club at the moment. A terrible performance from us. We couldn't seem to find our shooting boots as per usual, and Newcastle played us off the park. It seems to be. Fully deserved to Newcastle, by the way. Let's not get this twisted. It's not one of those sort of things where I say you're lucky we played bad. That's why you won. No, Newcastle played fantastically. I think they deserved the win against us in the Carabao Cup, and it's just we're gonna have to see what happens next week now when we play them at St James's Park. Because that's again, I keep saying this. I think every year, like, it's such a tough place to go to try and win, especially because is it mattering? Does it matter on goal difference, for example, if we win 1-0?
What, what do you
Does that
mean?
mean they
Well,
still go
no,
for?
at the
So like,
moment
let's
you
say
just got to worry about points.
what I'm saying is
What
like
do you
if we
mean?
win 1-0,
Well,
does that matter?
then you lose 2-1.
So yeah, so it does matter on
Aggregate,
goal
yeah.
difference. Okay,
Aggregate's there, yeah, but
fine,
I don't think away goals count.
fine.
No,
Okay,
no, we goes on.
but yeah, so yeah, like, and we thought, okay, like when I was watching that game, obviously I thought like terrible performance. Hopefully, we can obviously pick ourselves up and look at our performance and basically analyze it and say, right, this is where we went wrong. This is what we need to improve on to come against United. Come United, and we played even worse. I think Chavez, you could probably agree with me when you saw the fact that the referee was trying to go on our side as well when he gave us that penalty against you. In my opinion, it wasn't a penalty. We were pretty lucky and fortunate to get that penalty. Um, I think there wasn't that we had too many attacking options that didn't actually do anything. Martinelli lives offside. I think that was a bit iffy in my opinion. I'm not sure what the rule is or the consensus is around that when it came off Maguire. I know he's obviously offside, but I don't know how that works anymore. I know the rules are obviously they're never simple. There's always some sort of kind of like
I
rule
think it's
one and then 1A, 1AB, 1AC, 1AD. Like there's always some
I
like
think
extra rule
it's
to the
the
rule.
I think the main rule, like main part of the rule, is intentional movement. Like he intended to block it, but he didn't intend to play the pass
Yeah,
backwards, which
it's
is
Mm.
like that's
I
where
get
it.
it. Yeah, fair enough. But I remember there was the commentators going like, we never know the rules anymore because they
Yeah,
keep chopping and changing like every fucking 3 games or something. But rules aside, that doesn't matter. It does not matter whatsoever. Like if you take a look at our attack, Havertz missing two open chances, Trossard missing a complete absolute blinder, by the way. Where no fair play to Delete, he kind of cleaned up and stopped that goal from going. No, all Trossard had to do. Put himself in front of Delit because if Delit tried to put a foot in, he could have got a penalty regardless anyway, and then but didn't, and then Delit managed to clear the ball away. Should have been an easy goal, and then Odegaard missing a penalty. I think Odegaard didn't. He had a very very bog average game. I think Sterling had a pretty good game.
but that penalty I don't think was Odegaard's fault. It was a brilliant penalty and
That
also a
was
brilliant
outstanding.
save. Like
Your keeper was doing my head
they
in. He
had
was so good
pulled
against
off
us.
like two brilliant saves, but also like as you said with the earlier chances. I don't know what it was with Trossard. Like as you said, put yourself in the way of the man, so he takes you out. It's a straight red card because he's on the goal line,
Yep,
or you
yep.
sure and you go
Yep.
2-1 up, and
Absolutely.
you
That's
win the game from
this
that
is it.
point.
Is we had so many chances in that game, and of course when you had Dallo get sent off as well, they have 10 men now, and we had 30 minutes to literally dive at United and say, right, we're at the Emirates. This is us to get our opportunity. No, we played terrible. I think Chavez can agree with me on this. We played so badly, and the penalty as well when Havertz missed that penalty. I mean, come on, man! Like you'd be practicing this slot week in, week out, like probably every day for at least an hour if you were getting paid however much you're getting
It
paid
was
a
a
week.
good. I don't think it was a bad penalty. I think it was a good
Yes, it
penalty,
was. That
but
was a
also
terrible penny. In
another
my opinion, it was a
outstanding
terrible
save.
penny from
What
Havertz.
Havertz's penalty? No, that was a very
No,
good
it
penalty.
was a good
No, I
penalty.
don't think so.
It was powerful and it was
It
completely
wasn't
in the
It
corner.
was
powerful.
going in the bottom corner.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
very
100%
accurate and it was a brilliant save.
it was yeah.
Not for me personally, anyway.
Was it because he missed?
Um,
I think no, it's a
no,
very
I
good
just think it was too
penalty.
slow. I think he
The
slowed it down way too
perfect
much.
penalty is Declan Rice's, and then there's
Yes.
one below it which is a very good penalty, which is what Havertz's was, but it was just a great save.
No,
If Bayern goes the other way, everyone's like, it's a brilliant penalty, sent it the wrong
Yeah,
way,
it
but it's
okay.
bottom corner.
But agree to disagree. Regardless, we played terrible. We should have scored our shot. We should have been maybe 4-1 up, Chavez. You might agree with me in that. We should have been like 4-1 up against you at the end of that game, but we, for some reason, have decided to wipe our memory of how to put the ball in the back of the net. How to press circle is no longer in our fucking dictionary of football. Like there's not much to say really. It's quite unnerving as an Arsenal fan now going into the rest of these games coming up now. Remember we were talking maybe last week about the likes of Dynamo Zagreb in the UCL, Girona away. You're thinking, well, are we going to get anything out of them if we continue to play like this? Like who we got next? We got the North London Derby. Was
Tottenham,
it
yeah.
tomorrow? Yeah, we got
Yeah,
the yeah, stuff like this. I'm thinking, well, I'm not confident going into that now. If you play like that, don't get me wrong as well. It was a strong performances, not strong performance, strong team that went into each of those games in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup as well. There wasn't we played like our academy players or anything like that. It was Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Raya, like strong, like our full 11, I'd say, against these guys, and we still managed to completely just get obliterated.
it
So
could be.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the way that Spurs played in the 90 minutes against Tamworth and the way that Arsenal played recently, it could be the worst game of football this season.
yeah,
The North
well,
London
this is
Derby.
it. This is it. Is like in my opinion, it's very odd because Arsenal fans at the moment are obviously kind of like very reactionary to the point where they're like Arteta out. Oh my god, blah blah blah. Shut up, man. This manager has brought us obviously this far. Obviously, it's a blip. It's an annoying blip. It happens. It happens to every team. Do you know what I mean? No team goes like throughout how many ever seasons and then decides we're not going to have a blip. This is us. And for some reason, it's happening now, annoyingly, when Man City are dropping off as well and Liverpool have a new manager. But it's happened to us now, and we have to see what happens tomorrow.
Those what I was going to touch on. You took the words out of my mouth. It was a case of your blip and City's blip happened at the same time, and Liverpool have gone, oh, cheers. Oh, we're just gonna walk the leaf then. Like,
Yeah,
no worries.
yeah, it's literally exactly that. It's completely true.
I
I
suppose
was going
that
to add to that I'll quickly, I obviously have to speak on United, but from an Arsenal point of view, the thing I thought that cried out the most was, and we said it from the start, like your board didn't back Arteta with the striker. He needed a target man. And look what Havertz was doing. I mean, one of the chances he scuffed was just a
Oh,
clearance.
ridiculous,
Should have been a
ridiculous.
goal and it was a clearance. So,
Uh,
I mean, it makes sense. Like this isn't, and you know what? Now it's sad because Arteta will probably get the blame continuously
yeah,
until the end of the season. And
yeah,
I mean, it's sad that Gabriel Jesus tore his ACL, but if that is not going to be a reason for them to get someone now, then I don't know what is.
agreed.
Do they need Havertz to tear his ACL as well? Because
Yeah,
what do you need
agreed,
to be left with? Zero strikers? Is there someone waiting in the academy? No, there isn't. You sold Cheeto to us, so there's nothing going for Arsenal. They need to sign players right now.
agreed,
Um,
agreed.
so going back to us in that game, I mean, it's true. I thought like in the first half we were neck and neck. Like the first half was quite boring, but that's a good thing for us. We're the team that's away from home in a against a Big Six club, right? And we kind of just usually in these games we get bombarded in the first 10 minutes and then we concede. So the fact that we go away without conceding was very nice. I thought Bayinda had a very strange game because as good as he was, there was
His
a point
first,
in
yeah,
that
the
game.
goal we scored was very,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
dodgy. Also, his distribution is non-existent, which is
mm,
like it makes you question. So by the time it got to the point of the penalty, I thought this might be being his last game for Man United because it's the FA Cup, it's the only cup he gets to play in, and if we're going out, then he's not really going to get another chance. We'll probably get a different second
that's
keeper
it.
by the time he gets a second chance, and then he does that, and that's football for you. It can be quite punishing, but it can be merciful as well. You get a lot of opportunities to prove yourself, and he did outstanding. Like, I mean, there's not enough analysis on. First of all, that save. I mean, he saved it. He's 6'6", so it's quite tough for him to get down. And then he got up and actually prevented the corner. He was the first to the ball after saving it, and he's
Mm,
bearing in mind he's that tall. It was just incredible. A lot of things going on there. As a team, I thought we just had to do what we could once the red card happened. That was beyond bonkers from Tello, who just had a good game against Liverpool after having terrible few games. So it's just up and down from him. I don't know why he did that. I don't know what was going
yeah,
on. And going across the team, I thought Hoyland was. I've been pressured by a lot of my friends to mention this on this podcast because I'm not talking enough about Rasmus Hoyland as a Man United fan and how poor he's been this season. Joshua Zirkzee gets so much blame, but it's his first season at the club. It's Hoyland's second now, and he is supposed to be the senior striker technically. I don't care about the ages. Hoyland's been in England longer, and he's not lived up to it. I mean, he's had like I don't know how many. I don't want to name any stats because I don't know them off the top of my head. But whatever he's done, it's not enough. He's not scored enough goals, especially in the league over the last few months. Or just I think it's just Europe. He's doing well in even this season in the Europa League and last season in the Champions League. But he's non-existent. I mean, El can attest to this. In that game, the ball goes up, and you don't have to worry. Like Hoyland is not going to do
yeah,
anything. Just gets
yeah,
bodied, and his whole game. He wants this. Like if you watch him, he wants to be in physical battles, which is why we call him a WWE wrestler because he seems to forget about the ball, but then he loses those battles. So it's really annoying. And then when Xerxes came on in contrast, he showed it beautifully. Like he got the ball, he completely done Saliba for one moment, and he actually held it up and linked up play. So it's very interesting because long term, I thought I was so happy that I was there for Hoyland's first goal Like, I thought for the rest of my life I'll remember it. Hoyland might become a legend, score many goals. I'm not seeing that at the moment. I don't want to make a conclusion, but it might be that we just get Gyökeres and get rid of one of the two. And at the moment, I would get rid of Hoyland. Xerxes now has a chance in the next game we play Southampton, who are lost, like to show because he's probably going to start. On top of that, in that game, I think Bruno's the one to mention. Just brilliant. He's like, I hope now. I know people are so reactionary. So right now, if you ask people who's better, Bruno or Odegaard, they'll say Bruno. But I hope that definitively tells you Odegaard doesn't show up in big games as much as Bruno does, I think. And Odegaard is
Yeah.
a very nice player to look at. Aesthetically, he's very agile. He's good on the ball. I mean, he
Yeah,
did a beautiful 360 when he could have just played a pass. Whereas Bruno gets down and dirty. And I know that comes with some red cards, but that's a player you want. That's a captain you want.
I do agree.
And one other point, and I made this to some of my friends in that game. I was really upset when the whole Havertz thing happened. But fair enough, hands up. Like, it's football. You're supposed to cheat. And as long as you win, I'd be doing the same thing. So Havertz cheated the system, got a penalty. When Havertz missed that penalty, I made a point. Someone needs to go up and
Odegaard took it.
sorry. When Odegaard took his penalty, I made a point that once he missed it, someone needs to go up to Havertz and tell him off again, run into him, like you know how Martin Keown did with Van Nistelrooy. And lo and
Mm.
behold, after the game, I saw a clip of my favorite player at the football club doing the exact same thing. So the ball goes out and he
Who?
absolutely barges Havertz, Lisandro Martinez, and then
Yeah.
Ugarte backs him up and pushes Havertz. Then just to remind him, because that's this is the thing we're missing. It sounds like such a small thing, but we have
No,
personalities on the
yeah,
pitch. Like we
yeah,
actually stood up to you. Garnacho had one player down by a throat. Like obviously you've got to be smart about it, but
yeah.
we weren't passive. We used to be so passive, and he's brought something back in this team. Maybe it's just too many South Americans, but it's nice to see they put up a fight because obviously we lack some footballing ability compared to Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. There's no doubt they should have won that game. They were brilliant. Sorry, they weren't brilliant. They're just their system is brilliant to the point where even when they play bad, their XG was 3. So like clearly there's something right going on there. And this is what we need. And the shootout, I said it was fate. It was poetic justice. It was fate. Havertz should have missed, and he did, and we won. So it's as simple as that. And Raya, by the way, word on him. David De Gea's Villarreal performance is the worst I've ever seen from a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout. I think David Raya is second now. He dived wrong for every single penalty. He went the wrong way,
And went
and he
early as
dived
well.
too early. It was like he was disconnected controller. It was so
Like,
weird.
I completely understand. Obviously, it's a guessing game, and obviously, you just have to. But before they're even anywhere near the ball, and he'd already like there's that
Every
He's
time,
everyone's
like
dived
it
seen
wasn't.
before,
before
so
it.
they've just gone the opposite way. Yeah, I know.
If it
I agree.
happens
I
once,
get
it's
you've
a
got to
funny
guess.
clip. It's a funny clip if it happens once, but it happened almost every penalty. He just dived
Mm,
early. It was
yeah.
strange.
And also, just to touch on like as you said, like with Bayendir as well, like potentially his last game at the club, obviously, if he would have been knocked out and so on. Potential first choice at some point, or is it you
I
sticking with
think
Onana? You like with the season starts of the season he's had, you sticking with Onana and that's that.
this might sound harsh because that bloke's just had one of the best games of his life. And I did give him a 10 for it, which I don't give out very easily. I think his last few games are now. Like, if we continue to, if our next game against Leicester we get knocked out, that will be in his last game at Man United. It's because fundamentally he doesn't actually fit any modern team system. He can't play the ball out from the back. So this is the same problem we have with De Gea. De Gea used to have some incredible games with his, shot stopping ability, but he just couldn't really, adapt to the system.
And
So
Mm,
like, and I watch sometimes. I know Raya got clowned in that game, but like Raya on the ball is just like it's like a dream come true. And you start
mm.
missing Onana because Onana does the same. So Ben, they're good for him. He'll find a good team, but yeah, he's not going to last.
and just to touch on that Leicester game, obviously, I saw a TikTok. I can't remember who it was for the life of me, but it was a thing, and it was Van Nistelrooy has managed Man United versus Leicester in the Prem, Man United versus Leicester in the Cup, and now he's managing Leicester against Man United for Leicester against Man United in the FA Cup. So all three domestic
Oh,
competitions in the country, he's managed
yeah,
for both teams. He's managed the same game for two different teams in three
yeah.
different
I
domestic
hope he just,
competitions.
for me, I hope he just avoids relegation because he seemed like a good manager when he was there for us. I hope it's not just one little blip he had.
I
But
think I
yeah,
think that's the thing though. Like Leicester haven't looked good defensively, and you
mm,
need to if you're down there. And I don't like when he was at United. I remember you scored a fair few goals. Or whether that was just because you played Leicester twice. You know what I mean? But if you're an
yeah.
attacking coach going to a team in the bottom three or near the bottom three, I can't see it going well. I can't see
Yeah,
it.
I made a point a couple of weeks ago to some friends. I said that Liverpool and Arsenal were two games where I don't expect us to win. I thought we'd lose emphatically, whatever. I thought the biggest game of our season was actually the one that's happening on Thursday Maybe it's not as much now because we won our games. I thought Southampton at home was the biggest game of our season. Because, for example, if Liverpool beat us 7-0 and then Arsenal beat us 7-0, the manager's not in trouble from that. It's almost expected. That's how low our standards are. If you go to the team that's last place in the Premier League and on track for the worst season in Premier League history and lose to them at home, then the manager gets in trouble as well. It's like a permanent dent. So I'm happy that we won these two games and hopefully the pressure's off because guys, knowing Man United, we're not back.
I
This
know,
isn't that. Like when we
I
go
know.
at home
In
to
the
Old
Premier League, you
Trafford,
all of a sudden lose
yeah,
now.
when we get home to Old Trafford and the possession is on us, maybe, although Southampton do keep possession, we might be in trouble again, and Southampton could get a point, and that would be
Eh,
disgraceful. They have six
Mm.
points this season.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to say, I remember the away game. They had a few good chances, and you scored really late on, didn't you? Was it Garnacho finished the game off really late on?
Yeah, I think we won 3-0 though, Dan.
Oh no, but like it wasn't like
Yeah,
easy.
it
No, it wasn't
doesn't
like
matter. But
easy.
anyway,
Wasn't that, but no,
yeah.
But I was also, I was going to touch on as well. Obviously with the whole Tamworth Tottenham thing, it was a quote that Mourinho, but I think Mourinho brought up again when they played, was it like Marine or Mariners or wherever it was a few years ago? And it was like if you lose a Premier League game, that's on me. It was like if you lose today, it's on you. It's almost the same as Man United. Like if you start losing to, as you said, like your Southamptons, your Leicesters, your lower end teams, the flack's just going to go straight to the manager. There's none of the like
yeah.
blame these
But
players.
now I don't
It's
think so. Dan, from the moment of that Liverpool result, the way we played in that game, I think the fact that it works, when the players do what they're supposed to, I think fans have belief in him now. So we could lose tomorrow. I think losing like 5-6-0 to Southampton is questionable. Like you shouldn't be
Yeah,
doing that
please,
at
yeah,
any
don't do
capacity.
I think he'd get.
that.
But
I
even
think he'd be
7-0
jumping it
with
on
us.
Friday.
I don't know what I'm expecting because, like, these players have had one other thing. We've had 1 week gaps for these two games, Liverpool, Arsenal. These players seem to tire quicker than other players. So now they don't have a 1 week gap. It's like a 3-day rest, and then it's Southampton. So we will see. I would love for us to win. That would be three good games, performances in a row. And that is so rare for us. And then we have Brighton after that. So, I mean, we could be in a very different place here next week if we win too. I'd be very proud of them because Arsenal and Liverpool, cool, you put in performances. Do it in the home games you're expected to win. Win those.
I suppose that brings us, I suppose, to an FA Cup round or a cup roundup. I
Man
suppose.
United are back.
No.
What I was,
Have
what I
I
was
at
gonna
any
say,
point said how many? Do you know what? If our season carries on and let's say we push on from here, we can get top half of the Premier League,
top
which is
half.
why the absolute cup finals we have left, I don't care about the FA Cup. I'm sorry if that's not a patriotic thing to say. Our season relies on the Europa League. Every single Europa League game is huge because we have to win that competition if we want to be in Champions League. FA Cup, good, love to defend it again, but it just gets Europa League, and we're not getting top four or five. So yeah, it's the Europa League is a very important trophy to win.
I was gonna say it was again like very on brand for Spurs to go and beat Liverpool 1-0 in the Carabao Cup at home, and then I said, well, draw 0-0 with Tamworth and have to score 3 goals in extra time to actually progress in the cup. Again, it would be also very Spurs to go and beat Arsenal tomorrow. Like it's just they don't make sense as a club.
No,
No,
I
in
wouldn't
big
put it past
games.
us.
No, in big games, they had City, didn't they? And they beat them away
Yeah,
from
like
home.
recently,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like that run of games. It just seems very Spurs. Like
Arsenal need something. My issue is like even before the game begins, Arsenal, who's their striker? Like it's upsetting me
Who's our
seeing a
attacking?
club.
Who's the thing is, you said it right though as well with us. Is like, let's say for example, like Gabriel Jesus is out as well now. Let's say we're going to play like Ethan Ranieri, but then Martinelli as well. He's
he not
just
injured as
this
well.
Ranieri.
Was
No,
it a
He should play
knock? It was a
striker.
knock, wasn't it?
yeah, Ranieri's fine. He fucking better be fine anyway. But no,
Pretty
Martinelli.
like a teenager.
Something needs to happen to that boy. Honestly, we need to do like shooting drills with him, like every fucking night from 6 till 10 p.m. for 4 hours every single night, just to say, look, this is how you stay on side, and this is how you press circle.
Yeah,
You're
what?
Because
Why is
something's
it's
not.
so
you're
annoying, isn't it? It's Arteta's like seventh year or season or whatever, and the culmination of that is to have been left with Havertz as striker. Sometimes a very good manager, that is their problem. They get players like Havertz who might not actually be that great, make them look amazing. Fergie used to do that, and then suddenly that's all they're left with because the board's like, well, you've got your players already. But
Mm.
it's like the players get found out then, and I just don't think Havertz alone. He's not even a
Not
striker. I'm
yeah,
sorry, but he's
alone.
not a
I agreed.
striker.
No, no,
Like
no. Alone. What you meant? I agree with that. What you meant is like, for example, alone, like where he's just a lone number nine, where he's chasing after the ball. Agreed. Like there's not much he can do because obviously he's like that 6'4" player that needs to kind of have like a ball in the box. If he was joined up, for example, with a target man, like a true striker number nine, and Havertz could play just behind or something like that as like a centre forward, I reckon it could work.
or
but
he could just
the
come off the
chances
bench
that
to
he's
provide
missed are
something.
inexcusable.
Correct.
Yeah, no, but Dan, that's more pressure on him. If he
Yeah.
gets some time off, like he's on the bench, comes on to provide something different when the target man doesn't work,
Yep.
that would be great. That's what he is. Why is
Yeah.
this the end of? And also, it's not like Isak's out injured for Arsenal. It's Jesus. Why is that what Arteta has right now? It's the
Yeah.
board's fault, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure that's a fact. It's a good thing Amir's not here because he would say alternative. But that's where everyone here should stand. It's not Arteta's fault.
It's
He's
not.
going to
No,
get
but yeah,
so
but
much
this
flack.
is what I'm saying. This is
He's
what's
gonna it's
annoying with
gonna
our
increase
fans.
sell. It's gonna get worse once if he
This is
leaves the
what's
summer.
annoying with our fans is automatic. They're so reactionary to the point where they want the manager out, but then like they're just so dumb because it just comes to the point where you're like, okay, so who do you get next? Then what do you do next? And they don't think about what's next. They just want to make a statement to say, yeah, we're back. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you. We need something up front. We need maybe two players that in the attack, maybe a number
Who would
nine
you
and another right
realistically
winger.
take? Who would you
I'll take
realistically
Isaac.
take? No, 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 that's not realistic. Someone who's like
How is that not
available.
realistic? What would you
Isak's
think?
not leaving halfway through the season.
He might do for the right amount of
And you're
money.
not even paying the money. You're going to get a striker on loan, and it's probably going to be like
Gyökeres.
Vlahovic. That would be great. Vlahovic.
I
What
saw
about
you
that
were linked with
Gyökeres?
No, he's not
Kingsley.
going to
He's not
leave.
going to leave in January.
What about Igalo then? I'm joking.
Get him back in. It was.
No,
But
no,
you
I saw
need
you were
like
linked
a
with
maybe a loan.
Kingsley
we just
Coman. I thought I read the other day.
that's not a
That's not a
striker.
striker. Right?
But no,
That's
again,
even
it's
worse.
Get Tony back from Saudi Arabia.
The world's running out of strikers as well. If you deep it, like
Yeah, yeah,
where are
no,
our
you're
centre
right.
forwards at?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but whoever we get in, we need to get him in ASAP.
get him in before tomorrow. Really, get him in camp.
Yeah.
Realistically, yeah, just get him in training now.
Your
Get
front
Solanke from Tottenham.
load him for a
Even a
game.
Solanke would help because at
Ah,
least it's
shut
a
up. I don't want
target
any
man.
Spurs
At
players.
least it's a target man. Like, what are these dysfunctional strikers you have? Havertz not a full striker. Jesus is also not known to be a full-on centre forward. You don't even have the option. It's stupid.
Just got no options. Just
Yeah.
so that does bring us to the end, I suppose, this week. Thank you very much for watching, and let's see you next week. Goodbye.